Good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed honorees, beloved alumni and alumni, families, relatives, and friends. On behalf of the entire Yeshiva staff, we welcome and thank you from the bottom of our hearts for joining us in celebration of 15 years of Yeshivat Lev HaTorah. I want to begin publicly by expressing our deep hakarat hatov to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to the Borei Olam. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we cannot thank you enough. Thank you for 15 years of true chesed that you've shown us. Thank you for giving us the incredible zchut to teach and to spread your Torah. Thank you for allowing us to connect to over 800 incredible young men, to teach and to learn from them, to inspire and to be inspired by them, and to grow this wonderful family of Rebbeim, Talmidim, staff, alumni, and friends, this family called Yeshivat Lev HaTorah. I would like to recognize the presence of Dr. Paul and Beth White, parents of 3 alumni, Eitan, Amir, and Noam. The Whites were our honorees last year. As you all know, Beth heads our American Friends office, and we would like to wish them both, to wish Paul and Beth a special mazel tov on the occasion of their son Yaron's wedding, which will be in less than 2 weeks. Mazel tov. Tonight, we have 3 very special honorees. An alumnus from the year that the yeshiva opened, a family whose son is currently serving in Tzahal, and one of our inspiring Rebbeim, a new shining star on our staff. But before we introduce our honorees, I would like to share with you a short encounter that I had over a decade ago, which brought another very special personality into the yeshiva, one who would go on to have a profound and awesome impact on the lives of so many of our Talmidim and alumni. At that time, he was a new Oleh, and he instantly became one of the most idealistic people that I'd ever met in my life. Dr. Kallus came to meet me and to make me an offer. "Hi, my name is David Kallus," he said. "I recently made Aliyah to Ramat Beit Shemesh and was told that you run the local yeshiva. I'd like to make you an offer that you can't refuse. You see, I'm a practicing periodontist. I built a modest practice in the States, but my real dream, is to learn and to teach Torah in Eretz Yisrael. So I did a cheshbon nefesh, and I did a cheshbon, and I figured out that if I work 9 days a month in America as a practicing periodontist, so then I would have enough parnasa to support my family in Eretz Yisrael. And the rest of the time I could spend learning Torah and teaching Torah, and spend some time with my family too. I would like to offer you my services to the yeshiva for free." So I hired him on the spot. And the rest, as they say, is history. David, Dr. Kallus, Rabbi Kallus, you've recently gotten your smicha. Thank you. Thank you for literally thousands of hours of chavrutot, of shiurim in our yeshiva, imparting to our talmidim the chashivas of Torah, the mesiras nefesh for Torah. You are a pillar of anava and yirat shamayim. You are a shining example for our talmidim and for our staff of rabbanim of what it truly means to be an Eved Hashem. I must apologize, but we tricked you. You refused to be honored at this dinner, so we figured out that we could call it something else. We made up a different title. We called it a tribute. We would give you a tribute to Dr. Kallus, and you fell for it. So Baruch Hashem. So now we can publicly thank you for a decade of service to our Talmidim, both inside the walls of the yeshiva and connecting to our alumni on your monthly trips that you go to the States. You possibly, maybe probably, have given more shiurim at YU than all of the Rebbeim combined. Even as you leave your post at Yeshivat HaTorah, we know that you certainly have not left the HaTorah family, figuratively and literally. Because as we know, your son Mordechai was recently engaged to Sarah Goldreich, our very own Daphne Goldreich, the secretary and office manager of Yeshivat HaTorah, her daughter, is engaged to your son. So welcome back. And Mazel Tov. Before most of the guests arrived, we had a siyum. We were thinking, what could it be that we could possibly give Dr. Kallus that he doesn't already have? And that is the hana, to know that the Talmidim of HaTorah, the alumni, made a siyum in his honor. So we divided up Masechet Brachos amongst many of the alumni, and we did a siyum in the other room. And we were very lucky that Rabbi Dr. Kallus spoke to us, and he gave us words of chizuk. And so he got to speak back then. But right now, I ask everyone to rise and show covered for Hakarat Tov for Rabbi Dr. David Kallus. And I ask you to step forward and accept a small token of our great appreciation. So it says to Rabbi Dr. David Kallus, thank you, mi'umka deliba, for so many years of inspiring our Talmidim to be Ovdei Hashem. Yeshivat HaTorah, 28th of Adar, 5777. Mazal Tov. Our first honoree, Dani Vanderwalde. Dani was a member of our inaugural class of HaTorah 15 years ago. Woo. Dani, whenever I think of you, I smile. I smile when I think of you, and I smile when I think of that first year of yeshiva. 15 years is a long time. Consider this, Dani. You are today the age I was when we opened the yeshiva. You are 6 years older today than Rav Natanel was when he was your Rebbe in yeshiva. That's scary. That first year we had 18 guys in the yeshiva, including your chevra of 4 from Silver Spring, you, Aryeh Alchel, who's now living in Israel, and 2 others who are with us here tonight, Jacob Razin, and is Natan here? He didn't come. Natan Tor? He'll come, Bezrat Hashem. He's always late, Natan, you know. Now about the 4 of you, I have a real question, although I just spoke to your father right before this, it was unfair, but I had a real question that I've been wanting to ask your parents, specifically your mom, for 15 years. Aryeh, so we all know, his father was Rabbi Alshel, he was the headmaster of the Hebrew Academy. I knew him very well before. I was very close with him. He really wanted to see the yeshiva succeed because we were hiring his son, Asher, to work in the yeshiva. So he sent his son to HaTorah. That made sense. And of course, the Razins, they're out-of-the-box type people, and they wanted a different experience. So fine, so they sent Jacob. And Natan, he's Sephardi, I'm Yemenite, you know how it is. But my big question that I was wondering, I never had the guts to ask, was to your mom. Like, your mom is like this educator. She's like, what were you thinking? Like, we were a new yeshiva. We did not have a building. We were novice educators, and still you took a chance on us. So when you did that, I knew, one, that the yeshiva would be successful. And when you decided to come, I also knew that there was a certain siyata d'shmaya that HaKadosh Baruch Hu was going to be with us all the time. So thank you. And thank you. Dani, we were always proud of you in yeshiva. After you left, we asked you for a quote. And we put this quote on the back of our brochure, and you wrote the following. This is what Dani wrote. It was a year in which I learned a lot about myself and made such significant connections with friends and Rebbeim that even though I physically left after 1 year, I know I will never fully leave. You never fully left. And your quote lingered on as well. That famous quote spent more years with HaTorah than Mickey Levine and was proudly printed on the back cover of the Yeshiva's brochure from the years 2004 until 2012. We moved on from the quote, but we didn't move on from you. Watching you grow and mature from the boy you were back then to the man you are now has been a real pleasure for me personally. I fondly remember spending Shabbat in the University of Maryland with you. You cleared out even a room in your fancy senior suite. Oh, it was your room? Oh, wow, look at that. No, it was fine. It was clean, more or less. I was so overjoyed that I could be together with you and Holly at your wedding, on your wedding day. And I've had so much nachas from you on the family that you've built and the community that you continue to build and grow. Your initiative has enhanced the quality of life for more than 100 families and singles who were drawn to PJC, got it, right? The Pikesville Jewish congregation founded by you, and only 4 years ago. It's quite impressive. It is with much pride that I call upon you to address the tzibur. Ladies and gentlemen, Dani Vanderwalde.
Thank you. Thank you so much to Rav Boaz for your kind words. I'm so excited to be here tonight celebrating HaTorah. Mazel tov to Marc and Debbie Frankel and Rav Ely Allen on their well-deserved honors. It was wonderful to meet you all, and it's a true privilege to be honored along with you. Those who know me well know that I prefer to avoid public speaking. I will therefore keep my remarks short. To be honest, I'm rather confused as to why the Yeshiva decided to honor me tonight. And while embarrassed, I'm also extremely honored by their decision. And I'm so happy to be here with everyone this evening. It is so wonderful to see so many faces that I have not seen in a very long time, and equally special to see all the faces that I don't recognize, but represent people who have each connected to HaTorah in their own way since the Yeshiva opened its doors back in 2002. A class that I am honored to be a part of. To me, seeing all of you here coming to celebrate that which was once a first-year startup yeshiva in Ramat Beit Shemesh is proof of the good that HaTorah has been doing and the number of people it has impacted since 2002. That summer, 15 years ago, 18 kids fresh out of high school took a leap of faith in attending a startup yeshiva. Why did we do this? What made us take this risk? What exactly was it that drew us to HaTorah, an unknown, unestablished, buildingless yeshiva in a not-so-exciting part of Israel? While each of us may answer this question a little bit different, for me, it was the sincerity I detected from the rabbis who came to introduce me to this brand new institution. I was given a feeling that this was a place that, with or without walls, was being run by genuinely good and trustworthy people. For a 17-year-old kid to get this feeling from a group of rabbis is no small feat. From our first day at HaTorah, it was clear that my intuition was correct and that the rabbis cared about us deeply. They cared about us as individuals, our growth as Jews, and our growth as boys striving to become men. There was something warm, aspirational, and motivational about these rabbis. And it is a testament to them, all of them. They were and are authentic teachers of Torah who portray a love for authentic Torah Judaism. It is this authenticity that drove the memorable year I had, and I believe it is this authenticity that drives the yeshiva's continued success 15 years later. In fact, this desire for sincere and genuine Judaism still drives me today. This yearning for an honest and authentic place to daven, learn Torah, and cultivate a community was a crucial element in my involvement to establish the Pikesville Jewish Congregation, PJC, in Baltimore, Maryland. When PJC started in the summer of 2013, we had a goal of creating a genuine, family-friendly, welcoming, modern Orthodox community of spirited tefillah, thoughtful chesed, and Torah growth, values and ideals that were cultivated and deepened at Lev HaTorah as taught and lived by my Rebbeim. These ideals are with me each day in my efforts to serve the PJC community, raise my family, and live an authentic and meaningful Jewish life. Before I finish, I want to thank the dinner committee, the alumni dinner committee, and the board of directors for all their hard work putting together this beautiful evening. I also want to thank every single person who supported Lev HaTorah tonight. As you have seen and will continue to see tonight, supporting Lev HaTorah, it's tzedakah money well spent. A special thank you to my friends who traveled to be here tonight from Baltimore and around the New York metropolitan area. It means the world to me that you came. I also want to say a special thank you to my parents, Joan and Joey Vanderwalde, for their never-ending love and support, and of course to my wife, Holly, for always motivating me and serving as a role model to me and our boys, Caleb, Zachary, and Jonah, to be good and to do good. Finally, thank you to all the Lev HaTorah Rebbeim, to those I had the privilege to learn from and those that I did not. Thank you for teaching, for inspiring, for motivating, and for being the authentic Jewish leaders that you are. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the evening.
We ask Rav Natanel to step forward and to present to Dani a token of our appreciation. And you can read what it says. You can take the mic and read it.
Everybody, we present to Rabbi Dani Vanderwalde. That's not what it says. I just gave him smicha right now. It should have said Rabbi. In recognition of your awe-inspiring initiative and communal leadership, we are so proud of you. Yeshivat Lev HaTorah, 28 Adar 5777. That is very true.
We ask all of the guys from the first year of Lev HaTorah to come up. Gershon Friedman, Adam Dweck, Jason Eisenman, Jacob Rosen, Ben-Sion Shamberg, if Nathan Tor came yet, and Matt Wolf. Come on down, come on down. Come on up. Yeah, come on up. Let's stand downstairs. You're not going to be able to see us. Let's stay right here.
Okay, someone get a picture. Right here.
You're one. Johnny, you're in the middle. I would now like to introduce Rabbi Kwalwasser. Rabbi Kwalwasser, Mashgiach Ruchani of Yeshivat Lev HaTorah and co-founder of the Yeshiva, will now introduce our next guests.
I would like to introduce the next part of tonight's program, and our next honorees, Marc and Debbie Frankel. With a brief introduction to the Lev LaChayal initiative. Lev HaTorah has from its outset been supportive of boys choosing to serve in the IDF. After year 10, and over 50 Talmidim having served in the Israeli Defense Forces, we were able to see, however, the impact many experienced by going through the process alone. We sent boys to various systems, Hesder Yeshivot, Mechinot, the pre-army academies, Garin Sabar. Some fared religiously, some did not. Some held their heads up high, and some did not. But all felt the loss. Not growing up in Israel leaves our lone soldiers without a significant peer group, without the greatly needed Israeli protectia, lacking mentors, religious support, rabbanim, and most importantly, their homes. There are many outfits today providing services for lone soldiers. I am proud to say that LaChayal is today's most comprehensive lone soldier program for pre-army and throughout their service. It is the only religious infrastructure that takes care of our boys from beginning to end. After Rav Boaz and I explained this program to a commanding officer in the Army, a traditional man who was in charge of all soldier placement for 20 years in Tel HaShomer, he turned to us and said, "You guys take Torah seriously, and you take Army seriously, and you will be there constantly at the sides of our boys, of the soldiers, you'll make the best soldiers in the IDF." Well, it was from Avi's mouth to God's ears, and we are very proud of our soldiers who've been thriving and attaining tremendous awards and honors. They've received honors for midot tovot, great work ethic, determination and pride to serve our people and country. Please turn your attention to a short video featuring some of our chayalim, with a special appearance of one particular chayal who will introduce our next honorees.
אנו מכריזים בזאת על הקמת מדינה יהודית בארץ ישראל. היא מדינת ישראל.
First time in 3,000 years that Jews have a strong national presence in the land of Israel.
It's been a dream of mine all my life.
Because I saw God as bringing us back to Israel, and I wanted to be a part of that.
My father was in the IDF, and I felt that I wanted to follow in his footsteps.
I felt the best way I could serve the Jewish people was through serving in the IDF.
Serving in the IDF is not as glorifying as it's made out to be.
It's a long process to get into the Army, and a lot of people have problems finding a place to live while they're waiting to draft.
Once you get into the process, there's also all sorts of documents and bureaucracy.
צבא הוא מקום של חיים לא שגרתיים.
You don't necessarily have time to learn or to daven. And when you do that, it's very hard to keep yourself religiously inspired.
A lone soldier is away from his family, he's away from his relatives, he's away from a yeshiva and from all support systems.
And the loneliness that happens when you're off base is not something that's just easy to deal with.
LaChayal's training program helped me go from thinking I would not get past basic training to thinking that I can do anything.
The thing that I gained most was, I think, the fact that we were in yeshiva and in a yeshiva environment while at the same time we were training and preparing ourselves mentally and physically for what the army would be like.
אנחנו לומדים הלכות צבא, והשאלה תמיד מה זה הלכות צבא? נציין למשל שאלות שאנחנו מתמודדים איתן בבית המדרש, למשל חייל שבא ושואל אותנו שבשבוע מלחמה מדמים באמצע האכילה נפילת טילים על הבסיס, והוא ברגע אחד צריך לעזוב וללכת ולברוח, ולאחר מכן הוא שואל מה לעשות עם ברכת המזון.
I help them to contact the right people, sometimes not just the little people, but the people who are on top, and to make sure that everything's being done smoothly.
And they also helped expedite the process, helped me with all my paperwork, helped me with things that were in Hebrew that I didn't really understand.
Once they're in the army, make sure that they have a place to come back, that their house is ready for them, their bed is ready for them.
I come home from base to a clean apartment.
Another benefit is having a washer and dryer. I know that most Chayalim Bododim don't have that, so we're very grateful.
I always make sure to know who's coming back from the army, to set them up for meals with families in the neighborhood, to make sure that they have a place to go.
When I need meals, I eat in the yeshiva. If the yeshiva is not having meals, they stock our fridge full of food.
When you're having issues on base, if your commanders don't really understand what it's like to be a lone soldier, I had Rav Ely called my commander, and he actually explained my situation.
To make sure that they get the best out of their army service.
I have an advocate looking out for me even while I'm on base.
I'm really happy with LaChayal. I don't think there's any better way I could have done it.
And I feel like I have my family here.
LaChayal's program is the best program for religious lone soldiers.
I'm very happy to LaChayal.
I think joining LaChayal was one of the best decisions I've made.
LaChayal! 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 LaChayal!
LaChayal!
LaChayal! I just want to say thank you to my mother and father for supporting me since day one, and I really would not be here without you guys. And I know it's hard for you, but I just want you to know that I'm in good hands. LaChayal is taking care of me here, and yeah, I miss you guys and love you, and thank you.
I now call upon parents who have been among the community leaders of their shul, school, and so many communal needs. Parents who have been incredibly supportive of their son's desire from an early age to volunteer in the IDF. Parents who have successfully transmitted their passion for Zionism to their children. And parents who have every reason to reap great nachas from their son, who possesses tremendous kavod rabbanim, a deeply entrenched sense of hakarat hatov, a humble yet powerful approach to thriving in his service as a paratrooper for the well-known Tzanchanim, and the smile that radiates with his love for everything he is doing. If everyone can give a round of applause for Jacob, who is still in Israel as we speak, and his parents, Marc and Debbi, please join me. You guys have the podium to share with us some words of inspiration.
Wow. Rav Kwalwasser, Rav Boaz, you got it right. You got it right. That's all I can say. The program itself, as they say in that movie Jaws, when they see the shark, you're going to need a bigger boat. Dani, I also don't like public speaking, so I'll keep my words brief as well. I'd like to take a moment to wish a mazel tov to both Rabbi Allen, Dani Vanderwalde, on their well-deserved honors here tonight. We'd also like to wish a farewell to Rabbi David Kallus and Hatzlach in all his endeavors. Any married husband, any married Jewish husband in this room would understand this. About 4 days ago, we got a call from the yeshiva, and I came home, and my wife goes, Debbie said to me, she said, we got a call, and they said we could speak 5 to 7 minutes. I said, okay. She said, which reminds me, I want you to hear my speech. I said, wonderful. I said, how long is your speech? She said, 7 minutes. As naive as it may sound, when Aaron Dobrinsky phoned us to see if both he and Rav Kwalwasser could stop by to visit, we figured it was merely to catch us up on our LaChayal's progress. Little did we know. They explained to us that the yeshiva wanted to highlight their LaChayal program at this year's dinner and asked us to help them accomplish this by being one of this year's honorees. We sat there and kept going back and forth as to why we couldn't accept the honor. They said, take some time, we'll get back to you, think about it for a while. After they left, one thought kept coming to my mind. It would be the one opportunity that we would have to publicly offer our hakaras hatov and thanks to the Rabbeim, Rav Boaz, Rav Kwalwasser, Rav Leibowitz, Rav Allen, Rav Hartstein, Rav Dudi, Rav Citron, and many of the other Rabbeim, to Lev HaTorah, to the Lev LaChayal and its program. We sent our son to you over 2 years ago, and you helped guide him in his learning, in his maturity, in his spiritual growth. And as highlighted this evening, and you'll hear shortly, in his journey to become a Chayal. The kesher that Jacob has formed with both his Rabbeim and his friends will last him a lifetime. His learning will be embedded in the foundation of his Jewish life and one day his own Jewish family and home. Tonight's honor is not ours to accept. It belongs in its entirety to the Rabbeim, the administration, and the entire Lev HaTorah family. Thank you. Jacob's journey can really be told I promised Jacob I wouldn't do this. Jacob's journey can only be told by one person, and that's my dear wife and Jacob's mother, Debbi. Debbi, your love for Israel, its people, its chayalim, its chayalot, is truly second to none and an inspiration to all.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Anyone who knows me very well knows that any chance I will have to speak about Israel and Jake and his army process, I will take it. So maybe you want to get dessert first. Okay. If you will walk around our home, inside and out, you will see tiny little dents in walls and furniture. Stray tiny silver and green balls in every nook and cranny outside. Pure evidence that someone with a penchant for shooting guns lives there. Though he hasn't lived there for several years, Jacob's habit is evident everywhere we look. And our little grandson has lots of fun running around, picking up the little balls, saying, "These are Jakey's." We have pictures of Jacob in high school as a senior, running around with his younger brother and friends outside with Nerf guns, orange bullets flying in the air, Mark worrying that the police are going to come and arrest them, me saying they're Nerf guns, they're orange, it's okay. So where Jake is currently is no surprise. In fact, when he told us emphatically that he was enlisting in the IDF, we questioned him every which way to make sure he wasn't joining the army so he could shoot a gun. Of course, he couldn't hide that fact, and we understood it, but he did have to prove a much more valid and altruistic reason to endanger his life 6,000 miles away from the love and security of home and family, and he did. When Jacob was in 12th grade, we took him to Israel with his younger brother to scope out and determine which yeshiva would be the best fit for him. There are so many wonderful yeshivot, and we simply couldn't know without seeing and feeling and being there. We went with two top choices in mind, and Lev was the second one we visited. From the moment we walked onto the beautiful campus and were taken inside by Rav Hartstein and introduced to Rabbeim and students, Mark and I knew this would be Jacob's home for the following year. We spent a few hours there. Jacob met some guys he knew from his summers at Camp Stone. We toured the yeshiva, asked all of our pertinent questions, and left feeling secure that this was it. Jacob had no doubts at all, and we went back to the States feeling 100% confident in our decision. The following September came, and the usual emotions, tears, sobs, hugs, and brachot, came as we stood at JFK wanting our son to go, yet not wanting to let go. We had sent 3 girls off to seminary already, and yet this was different. I think we all knew that this year was going to somehow be lengthened tremendously as Jacob constantly spoke about joining the army after yeshiva. So the Yom Tovim came, and while our son enjoyed his learning and all aspects of Lev HaTorah life, every phone call ended in, okay, but Daddy, Mommy, you know that I'm joining the army, right? And every phone call ended with, okay, Jake, we know, yes. Wait till your year is over, continue your learning, and then we'll discuss. Then the trip to Poland came with Lev HaTorah. I come from a family of survivors, and our children have grown up with the saying, never again, as a life statement. They not only know it, they live it. They had great-grandparents that lived through the horrors and the miracles of the Holocaust. So when Jacob stood in a forest where over 200 precious, sweet, innocent children were murdered and listened to an elderly survivor who after the liberation went to Eretz Yisrael and fought for Israel to become a state, after hearing this man who endured hell on earth only to survive and then go to Eretz Yisrael and live to create and protect it and help it become a state, Jacob said, I thought to myself, look what this man lived through and did. If he could do it, how could I not? I want to be part of Israel's history. With tears in our eyes and joy in our hearts, Mark and I knew that this was where our son's heart was. And if that wasn't enough, a few months later, after a horrific terrorist attack in Israel, we received a video from Jacob that he took from the steps of his yeshiva. It was the night after the attack, and the country was in complete mourning. Yet there was a Hachnasat Sefer Torah taking place, and we watched and saw the joy and the singing and the children jumping and happy and all celebrating life. And Jacob said to us then, these are the people I want to protect. This is why I need to do this. And as if we would ever argue with a child who wants to do this in the first place, we all knew that the wheels were now in motion. Along came LaChayal. Having no close family in Israel and having our 18-year-old son doing all of the pre-army legwork on his own, Mark and I were pretty much in the dark as to how the process works. Where will he go? Where will he live? What will he do? What will he eat? Who will take care of him? Hence, the emails and calls to Rav Dudi Winkler began. And though we probably annoyed him with our back and forth questions and concerns, he was very patient as he explained the LaChayal program for Shana Bet boys who want to join the army. They would be taught Ivrit, Hilchot Tzava, and basically have a pre-army 6-month course at the yeshiva and be part of the yeshiva, live there, eat there, be part of the yeshiva family. While our darling son imagined himself on a kibbutz somewhere for 6 months until he could draft, we said the only way you were allowed to do this is to go through the LaChayal program. We needed the assurance that there would be someone guiding him and helping him, and we wanted to be sure his connection to Torah and mitzvot remained a constant. It was of utmost importance to us that his connection to his Rabbeim would keep him grounded, as the army is the army, and it's easy to lose perspective of important things. So back to Israel he went in September again. This time it was even harder to send him off. But knowing he was going back home felt right in our souls. Jacob began LaChayal with gusto, Ulpan and Hilchot Tzava. We were thrilled to know he was in a safe and warm place with the familiar faces of friends and Rabbeim. He wanted to draft earlier than expected, which was going to be the following March, but he wanted to draft in December. And again, he began badgering Rav Dudi, and we began again for more guidance. December 15th it would be. An apartment would be obtained in Ramat Beit Shemesh, paid for with part of Jacob's army salary, which is more for a Chayal Boded, and arranged for by LaChayal. Other lone soldiers would be living in this apartment and would have full use of the yeshiva for meals, Shabbat, davening, and hosted meals by their wonderful Rabbeim when off base and in Ramat Beit Shemesh. December 15th came. Our son drafted. It was a day we will never, ever forget. A day filled with emotions that ran the gamut from immense pride to fear. Our boy was becoming a soldier in the Israeli Defense Forces, a soldier in the very country that is all ours, belongs to us, where thousands and thousands of young boys and men had died to create and protect. The land we learned about from the time we could speak, the land of our avot and imahot, the land that has seen thousands of years of beauty as well as destruction. Our hearts were bursting, and our entire family, from Jake's siblings to grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins, cried tears of joy and pride. Pictures of Jake's ID card with his shaven head quickly spread through the family via text and WhatsApp. We all shared this day together. I sat on my bed the entire day and cried, feeling like this is my baby. What am I doing? I need to be there. I need to hold his hand. I need to take him in. Mark, seeing my roller coaster of emotion and feeling bad for me, said very casually, "Why don't you start a support group for mothers of lone soldiers?" Little did he know that this idea would turn into a Facebook group for mothers of Chayalim Bodedim that now, a year and 3 months later, has over 225 members, mothers just like me from all over the world, whose precious sons and daughters have made the incredible choice to serve in the IDF. Some have made Aliyah, and others, like ours, did not. The group has been my lifeline. And we have learned so much about Army life and the entire process from others with more experience. I've met mothers whose boys have attended Lev HaTorah and whose boys did Lev LaChayal. It has connected us in many beautiful ways. And now, a year and a half later, I am able to school other mothers as their children are just beginning and as they are sitting on their beds crying. As Pesach is upon us really soon, it reminds us of last year when Jacob had completed Michveh Alon and had taken his test for Tzanchanim, gotten in, and was now on the Tzanchanim base. As Pesach was quickly approaching, we kept asking him what his plans were, and we felt forlorn. As we have no close family in Israel we knew he could be with, and he wasn't sure if he would be on base or not. About a week before the Chag, he found out he would be off. Now what? Where would he eat? What would he do? Who's going to clean his apartment? Who's going to kosher it for Pesach? Lev LaChayal, to the rescue. They really left nothing for Jake and his fellow Bodedim to do. The boys got to the apartment, and lo and behold, shelves and shelves were stocked with every type of food and snack that the boys would need. Countertops were covered, apartment was cleaned and all ready for Pesach. Seder, yes, only one Seder for those lucky enough to be in Israel, was arranged. Daytime meal was arranged, and thus Pesach was Pesach. Our son did not have anything to do but go to shul and eat. You cannot imagine how thankful and appreciative we were, and we went into Pesach with happy hearts. Jacob's Rabbeim were always in touch with him throughout training and service. At his Tekes Hashpa'ah, the swearing in at the Kotel, there was Rav Dudi and company, along with his son and his camera, proudly watching as his boy too was sworn in. To say it was a proud few hours would be an understatement. Then the Masa Kumta, the beret ceremony, where our soldier received his red paratrooper beret, at a ceremony culminating months of training that ended with a 70-kilometer hike. These boys returned from the grueling hike, sweaty, gritty, dirty, and in pain, as you can imagine, walking about 40 miles with heavy army paraphernalia weighing you down. But they came in singing, blaring, carrying Israeli flags, proud and exhilarated at feeling so accomplished. All of Jacob's Lev Rabbeim were there. Rav Boaz, Rav Dudi, Rav Kwalwasser. I have to mention Rav Natanel because even though Rav Natanel, you were not there, Jacob always said when he hears your name, he is the man. These Rabbeim brought boys who would soon be starting the LaChayal process and drafting. We were all a family, all there together with thousands of other Israeli and foreign parents singing HaTikvah and watching over 400 young men in green as they stood proudly listening and following the commands of their head commander. It was a day we will never forget. As you all have hopefully gotten the gist, yes, we are very proud of our son. Very, very proud. But as much as that, we are also so grateful to Lev HaTorah and Lev LaChayal, who paved the way and allowed Jacob to have the most fulfilling and meaning army service possible. Every Erev Shabbos, after I light my candles, I say a tefillah that I found online when Jacob drafted. There are many prayers for our soldiers, but this particular one spoke to me in a way that others did not. I printed it out, put it on orange paper, laminated it with Scotch tape, and taped a picture of Jacob in uniform to it so I can see him as I say it. One paragraph says the following: "But my maternal heart is fearful and trembles at the dangers and temptations that surround him. He is young and lacking in experience, far from the teaching of his mother and the guidance of his father." This is where Lev HaTorah, Lev LaChayal has stepped in time after time, a constant reminder to Jake of where he comes from and what is important, even when he is atop a watchtower in Hebron or a ditch in the desert. Another paragraph reads, "Bless us, my God, with the wisdom and strength to oversee his actions to fulfill his mission properly, that he not act in a way that is treacherous or immoral, that he not submit to error or hesitation. See to it that he listens to the voice of his commanders, that he be faithful and prepared to sacrifice, devoted to his flag." We thank Lev HaTorah for helping us to oversee his action as much as we can. And we thank God. He is a strong, able, and devoted soldier. But what we pray for most is that he and no other soldier ever needs to be sacrificed. Our lives, Im Yirtzeh Hashem, will forever be marked in the most beautiful way by our son's choice to be an Israeli soldier. May HaKadosh Baruch Hu please continue to watch over and protect our precious children and our people in Israel, and may he bring peace and tranquility to our nation. Thank you.
Mark and Debbie, please accept this token of our appreciation for all the support you've given our boys and so many others. It's a Tzion Tzedakah box, and it reads, "To Marc and Debbie Frankel, may you be blessed with Birkat Hashem for your great service and commitment to the Jewish community. Yeshivat Lev HaTorah, 28th of Adar, 5777. Mazal tov.
Important picture ops. Okay, great. Our final honoree. Rav Ely, you ready? Our final honoree is our very own Rebbe and mentor, Rav Ely Allen Shlita. All right, show respect, nice. Rav Ely, my dear friend and colleague, we are so happy and proud that you are a member of the Yeshivat Lev HaTorah family and part of the Yeshiva staff and administration. Before we hired you, so I needed to do a little due diligence, even though our meeting was so great still. I was at Yeshiva University, and Rav Ely had taught in the Mechina program there for about a decade. And so I asked one of the administrators there, tell me something about Rabbi Allen. So he said, Rabbi Allen he gets college students better than any other Rebbe at Yeshiva University. Then he paused and he said, no, I take that back. He says he is the only one that really gets the college students at Yeshiva University. And that talent, that ability to really relate and connect to your students is something that you've had for over a decade before you came to Lev HaTorah, and we've seen you shine at Yeshivat Lev HaTorah. Your ability to connect to every single student, to find that common denominator between you and that student. You started so many different things at Lev HaTorah. For the Sephardic students, you had the Sephardic program. For the students that come from a weaker background, a public school background, you started and headed the Mechina program. For students who speak French, you decided you're going to have a French club. For students who like the stock market, so you have a stock market club. And every single thing that you could find, when students that like books, you have your own little book club that you trade books with them and point out different books they should buy. Every single person, you find that commonality, that common ground, and that's what makes you so beloved and so sought after at Lev HaTorah. It really is an honor to have you here tonight with us. Normally when a Rebbe is honored, you would expect him to be in Yeshiva for 10 years, 15 years. Rav Allen's been with us for 2 years, not even 2 years. I think I met you 2 years ago. But I feel like I've known you my lifetime, my entire lifetime. You're a person who immediately I was drawn to your great charisma. And it's not because you're a rabbi of a shul once, and it's not because you're a rabbi of 4 university campuses in North Jersey. But I think one of your great accomplishments that I saw before you came to Lev HaTorah was that Shabbos we spent together at your home in Bergenfield. Rabbi Allen had this amazing thing. He would have a Shabbaton at his home, and he'd invite all of his students from all the different walks of life, whether from the colleges in North Jersey or Yeshiva University or people that he met randomly or friends of any of the above. And people would come to his home, and he would open up his home. He and his wife Becca would open up their home like Avram and Sarah. It was mamish, like an Avram Avinu experience to watch Rav Ely in action. He and all of his Talmidim, who are here also. It's incredible. And I saw the love that you have for every student of yours, the care and for every detail. And I knew that this person is going to go far in life. And it was a tremendous chus that you agreed to be a Rebbe at Lev HaTorah and to initiate, to be the director of new initiatives at the Yeshiva. So first of all, I thank you for coming to Lev HaTorah, for being a part of our staff, a part of our family, and a part of our lives. And now I would like to welcome you to come up here and say a few words on behalf of the Yeshiva and yourself.
I want to thank every individual who came tonight. It's a great privilege to share the evening together. All of our family, our friends, the Talmidim. I want to say Mazel Tov to my fellow honorees. It's also great to have met you and all the contributions that you've made to the Yeshiva. It makes all the difference. I want to say that I have the dubious honor of not only having the title rabbi, which means that this talk may be longer than the others, but also being the person that is between you and your dinner. All right, I promised Reb Boaz I wouldn't make too many jokes. So. About 2.5 years ago, I was sitting with a friend of mine, Rav Gershon, and we decided that we wanted to make Aliyah. And the big question was, obviously, what we were going to do in Israel. And we researched all the various gap year yeshiva programs, and Lev HaTorah just kept coming up. All of my students that I had at YU or at different universities that had come from Lev HaTorah, there was something special about them. There was a certain midot, certain characteristics that stood out. And so we decided, let's just go for it. We're going to try to get a job at Lev HaTorah. And it was a Thursday night, and that Shabbat morning, Rabbi Gershon was walking to the Sephardic congregation of HaTorah in Englewood, where he was the rabbi. And we had decided we need to meet Rav Boaz Mori. He had known Rav Boaz. I'd never met Rav Boaz before. And as it happened, Rav Gershon was walking to shul, and who was there for Shabbat? The staff later told me he wasn't even scheduled to be there, but Rav Boaz. They spoke late into the evening, Motzei Shabbat, and Rav Boaz shared that although jobs, of course, were short, he was looking for someone to initiate a summer program for college students. And Rav Gershon said, look, I don't have too much experience with that, but my friend Rav Ely maybe can help out. And so we started an email correspondence. We went back and forth. I ended up going to Ramat Beit Shemesh for the first time in my life. I entered into the yeshiva. I didn't have an appointment or anything. Rav Boaz, as if he knew I was coming, came and welcomed me. I will now share a humorous anecdote, mainly for the Talmidim. I was in the back. Rav Boaz said, we'll meet right after Mincha. He didn't say Mincha, he said Mincha. And all of a sudden, a certain individual came out of nowhere, Rav Mo Kaplan. You can applause for him, it's okay. And Rav Mo came up to me and he said, right in front of Rav Boaz, are you Ely Allen? And I said, yeah. He said, I don't know if you remember me, but about 20 years ago, you took me to my first Metallica concert. And I thought in my mind, man, I'm trying to get a job here, this... And then to save, you remember that? And then to save the day, Rav Mo said, and before the concert, you gave us this awesome Pirkei Avot shir that I remember to this day. And I said, yes, yes. And before you knew it, I received an email from Rav Boaz saying that that Lev wanted to start a Mechina program for college, for public school students. A Sephardi program obviously for Sephardim, and a number of different initiatives. And could I do any of them? And I said, yeah, I'll do all of them. And he said, you do all of them? I said, sure, why not? And before I knew it, I was welcomed into the Lev HaTorah family. I'm now going to pull the rabbi card just for a moment to give a very short Devar Torah. 7 years ago today, the Teaneck community had a devastating tragedy. It was during the storm. We lost a very close friend, Ovadia Musafi, Zichrono Livracha. And I'd like to share the last Devar Torah that we heard from him. And I think it's very appropriate because it has to do with life and something that we try to instill in our Talmidim and our students. A lot of the times people debate whether the cup is half full or half empty. We said in Tehillim, Kos Yeshua Tesa, I lift up my cup. Ovadia mentioned that when a person lifts up their cup, they kind of have to see the cup as half full as opposed to half empty. One of the major things that contributes to our happiness, to our appreciation in life, is gratitude. Really knowing all the blessings that we have and using those things that we have to determine our state of consciousness, our awareness, as opposed to the things that we don't have. And so I'd like to just conclude with my words of gratitude to so many people that helped me to be where I am today. First, I want to thank Rav Boaz. Rav Boaz, you took a chance on me. I know you did your research, so on and so forth, but you welcomed me. And I also want to thank all of the staff, Rav Kwalwasser, Rav Natanel, Rav Hartstein, Dr. Kallus, the list goes on and on. When I came to Yeshiva, you really welcomed me. You made me feel like part of the family. You all teach for me whenever I ask, whether it's in the leadership program or the Mechina, and I really have so much gratitude for you being the wonderful people that you are. I want to thank my parents. My father, by example, taught me how to honor other people, how to welcome other people. His name is Avraham, and he acts like Avraham Avinu. And any skills that I have in being close to my Talmidim or to my friends, so on and so forth, I learned from watching my father. My mother instilled in me a great love of Torah. She goes to more shiurim than most people that I know. She instilled in me a great love of chesed, to be out there, to be looking for those people that perhaps are missing something and that need something. And so I really owe everything to you, Mom and Dad. Thank you so much. The truth is that the real honoree should not be me. The real honoree should be my wife, Becca. The yeshiva had very generously offered to fly her out, but it was a little bit complicated. But all of those that know us, all of our friends here know the person that really holds everything together is my wife. First of all, she tolerates me, which is a full-time job. But taking care of the children, always being welcome to host the students, always supporting me. Really, this honor is hers, it's not mine, so I want to thank her. And finally, I want to thank all of our Talmidim, all of our students, our friends. I've always had a difficulty in differentiating between the two, but the yeshiva, all of us, Rebbeim, Lev HaTorah, we only exist for you, and we would have nothing if it wasn't for all of you. So we really appreciate, as much as we have taught you, you have taught us more, and you have put a tremendous purpose and meaning into every moment of our lives. I think I speak for all of us, when we get home from a long day, and sometimes it's not till 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, there's never a day that any of us go home and ask, what did I do that was purposeful today? What did I do today that made a difference in someone's life? I'm very fortunate to have every day the opportunity to be with people that care, to be with people that want to learn and that really appreciate. So in closing, again, I really want to thank everyone here. I want to thank you for attending. Everything that you've done sustains us. It gives us the chizuk. It gives us the support to carry on, and it means everything to us. Thank you so much.
Anyone who considers himself a Talmud of Rav Ely Allen, come over here for a quick picture. But do it quick. Anyone who's a Talmud of Rav Ely Allen, you have 10 seconds to have a picture right here with that Rav Allen. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, don't take your time, 3, 2, and action. Nice.
Of course, you have to get the best.
Reverend Tanel, you'll present the thing.
Don't blink. Nice. I gave you bunny ears.
Tanel, come on up. Read this. While he's taking a picture. Read it now. One more.
Nice. We got it.
To Rav Ely Allen. I have to say that to Rav Ely Allen, our deepest hakaras hatov for your mesiras nefesh to our talmidim and dedication to the growth of our yeshiva, Yeshiva HaTorah 28 Adar 5777.
Enjoy your dinner. More announcements later.